Ducky's hungry, a walk home. Once upon a time on Grumble Farm, in the corner of a field, slept a chicken on an egg and unaware of any trouble that might be about to happen. Farmer Grumps, in his hurry to feed the sheep, milk the cows and collect the chicken eggs, had left the gate to the chicken field ajar. Haggis, his dog who liked to chase chickens, pushed the gate open with his nose and ran in barking and snarling. The chicken awoke suddenly, lost her balance and kicked the egg high into the air. Down onto the grass the egg fell and it began to bounce. It bounced over the fence and past the sheep, who looked rather amused. It bounced past Junior Grumps, who was in the middle of eating his breakfast, and Junior's cat, who was just about to eat some very smelly food. On it bounced, down the path and across the bridge, where it stopped at the feet of a certain duck called Emily River Duck. Well, an egg, and it stopped right at my feet, thought Emily. As I have nothing better to do, I may as well sit in it. And with that she sat down and closed her eyes. Emily was just snoozing when she smelt apples and looked up to see a donkey. "Hello," said the donkey. "Have you been sat here long?" he asked. "Just long enough to have a short nap," said Emily. "Oh well, I'm following this apple," he said, and off he ambled. Emily had just closed her eyes again when there was a thumping of feet and 4 very noisy people walked past. What a busy spot, she thought. Emily had just returned to her nap when she felt the egg pull at her feathers. It rocked and rolled and finally cracked in half. There stood a small yellow bird. "Hello," said Emily. "Welcome to the world of being a duck. I shall call you Ducky, Ducky River Duck." "I'm really hungry," said Ducky. "Well, let's go and get something to eat," she said. Emily waddled into the water. "Coming in, Ducky. Let's find some pondweed," she said. "Okay, but I don't think I like swimming," said Ducky in a reluctant voice. But Ducky looked unhappy in the water. "I don't like pondweed and I can't swim very well," he said. "In that case," said Emily, "we can go to Grumble Farm and get some food there." Out of the water, across the bridge, and up the path they walked. In the distance they could see Junior Grumps sitting in his chair. Firstly they came to Junior Grump's cat, who was purring loudly. "This food smells horrible," said Ducky. "I can't eat this." Next to the cat, Junior Grumps was asleep, having finished all his breakfast. "There's only crumbs here," said Ducky. Further along the path they came to the sheep, who were eating some fresh hay. "I can't eat hay," complained Ducky. "I haven't got any teeth to chew it." Finally they came to Farmer Grump's cornfield, which had ripe, delicious golden grain. "Look, Emily, grain, lots of yummy grain," and they started to eat as much as they could. However, just over the hedge, they didn't hear or see Farmer Grump's tractor coming closer and closer. Out of the tractor jumped nimble Farmer Grumps and grabbed them both. "What's this? 2 birds eating my grain," he cried. "I'm going to put you up for sale in my front garden." And so he did. Farmer Grumps stood patiently outside his house, waiting for someone to buy Ducky and Emily. Soon there gathered a crowd of people, but not all of them looked happy. "Oh, look, 2 birds, 1 big and 1 small," said the man in the crimson jacket. "That yellow one is very small," said the young girl on the man's shoulders. "We could buy them," said the boy in the green jumper. "Well, I think Mr. Grumps should let them go," said the lady in pigtails. "Me too," said the young girl in the red coat. "And me," said the lady in the bright top. "Me also," came a voice from the house. It was Mrs. Grumps at the door. "We should let them go, Farmer Grumps," she said. Farmer Grumps looked around in surprise. "Very well, Mrs. Grumps, I was only joking. I never really meant to sell them, but they were eating my corn," he said, shuffling uncomfortably on his feet. Farmer Grumps picked up the box and carried it across to the chicken field and released Ducky and Emily. "Now don't eat my corn again," he said. Mrs. Grumps followed, carrying a large bucket of grain, and fed the 2 birds. At long last Ducky and Emily had something to eat. The next day Emily said to Ducky, "Now that you are not hungry any more, I'm going to head back to the river." "Oh, I feel sad," said Ducky. "You are my best friend and I will miss you." Emily flew off into the sky. She looked back and shouted, "You know where to find me, Ducky. Past the sheep, past Junior Grumps and his cat, across the bridge and on the right. Goodbye, Ducky." "Bye, Emily," said Ducky as loud as he could. Ducky wasn't hungry any more, but he felt sad. He had made some new friends, but he really missed his good friend Emily River Duck. Then one day he thought to himself, I'm going to find Emily. Past the sheep, past Junior Grumps and his cat, across the bridge and on the right. Springing to his feet he shouted, I'm coming to find you, Emily River Duck, and off he ran.